9. Knowledge. One day, knowledge will exist for one purpose: to achieve meaning, nothing else. The structure of this knowledge will be spherical. At the core will lie meaning. There will be a great many layers of knowledge. Each successive layer from the core outward will be less and less pure. The purest knowledge will be paradox, non-mind, being, awareness. Then, built outwards from this core, will lie manifestations of meaning, progressively more earthly forms of knowledge. The sphere will be divided by 4, and each of these parts are sense, intuition, feeling, and intellect. The 4 parts will communicate, breathe, and interplay as cells of the organism's sphere. The purpose of the layering of knowledge is single: to give those at any level of development access to that which they can understand. Since meaning flows from this understanding, we see that the core reaches to every part of the sphere. What we call language will exist in many forms, high and low, complex and simple, combining the 4 elements in unique ways. What we call medicine will likewise exist on many levels and have many applications, the purest being knowledge on self-healing for those who are developed enough. What we call psychology, art, history, and science will all exist at different levels, integrated and whole. 10. Fire. The burning is important, not what burns. It is the event by which we define our portion of the perpetual flux, which changes one form of energy to another. Fire is change, which exists in time only. Though it acts upon the earthly elements, without these elements fire cannot exist. Change creates fire, and matter can do nothing but change. 11. Daemon. Sense, intuition, feeling, and intellect may be used by that faculty we call the daemon of free will or choice. We can move toward or away from the centre, into the light or away from the light. To move toward the centre, the light, is to attune to the cosmos. To move away is to live in dissonance. Moving toward the centre applies to those who have achieved certain spheres of their potential and who have the level of knowledge or strength to escape from the control of physical events. These events manifest themselves in the influence of the sun, planets, weather, bodily rhythms, superstition, those closest to us, parents, lovers, enemies, dominators, and restrictive social structures. These manifestations of our personal universe may mean we are unable to consistently exercise our daemon. Instead, we may be caught in the cycle of fear and violence, physical or mental. For the majority of people in the past and present, this has been and is the case. As the ages spiral through civilizations of relative freedom and tyranny, the numbers of those who can escape the cycle of fear and violence vary. There are and have been those possessing considerable strength or wisdom who have, with varying degrees of freedom, escaped for long enough to have had a noticeable effect on the world. Those motivated toward the light have had a corresponding effect on those inspired by them. The word inspire literally means drawn into the centre. The light at the centre is not synonymous with good, though it does encompass what we may call good. The light always illuminates the paradox, the thing in its opposite. What we consider good contains seeds of evil, and vice versa. Good and evil are relative according to the proportion of good and evil acting autonomously within the perceiver judge. We have absolutely no need to judge others once we have achieved wholeness. In the case of the daemon, there is only one choice towards the light. The darkness is absence of choice. Weakness is the source of an absence of choice. Strength is the source of choice. 12. Meaning. There is meaning everywhere. What we say, what we do, where we are, what we like and dislike. Everything. Yet most of this meaning goes unheeded. Why? Insufficient consciousness. Most people go about ignoring this meaning, even though it is the ordering principle of the centre. Without it, we become wedded to the earth and unable to perceive anything higher, even though we owe our existence to the ordering principle, God, whatever name you like. The magic of the ordering principle starts when we begin to perceive meaning without prejudice, which is always based on fear. Then the nature of this principle is activated and wonderful things happen. A crystallization of consciousness begins. All of those of like mind are joined, as we all are if we would recognize it. by a common meaning and purpose. Then communication starts to flow through seemingly invisible channels. This communication is life, energy, and love, and is the higher reason for being human.